Hola chicos! Hoy vamos a empezar con los boot verbs, or you may see them in your textbook called stem-changing verbs. Why are they called stem-changing verbs, or why are they called boot verbs? Well, let's take a look. It's going to make some sense, I hope. The stem of a verb is the part of the infinitive that is left after you drop the endings AR, ER, and IR. For example, the stem of empezar is empez, so we just took off the AR. And why are they actually stem changing? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to put, as you can see, the light blue around the verb poder. There we go, there we go. It makes the shape of a boot. Nice job. So let's take a look. The O in poder changes to a UE in all of the forms except, that's right, nosotros y vosotros. Excelente. Okay, the next verb we see is empezar. Well, with empezar, again, we take off the AR and we're left with empez, just like in the model, the original part we started with. And then we'll see yo empiezo. The E, the second E in empezar, changes to an IE. Again, in all of the forms. Except for, tell me, dime. Nice job. Nosotros y vosotros. Y la última forma que tenemos, or el último verbo que tenemos, es pedir. Well, what happened with pedir? If you're looking at it, you can see again that the E is going to change, but this time to just an I. Por ejemplo, pido, pides, pide. Ah, but wait. ¿Qué pasa en nosotros? There is no change. Pedimos, pedís, and we go back to being inside of the boot, and we have piden. Let's take a look at this video. Programa activa.
Hello. Today we're going to give you a quick refresher course on stem-changing verbs!
Stem-changing verb.
Remember, stem-changing verbs are nothing to worry about.
The stem of a verb is the part that is left after you drop the AR, ER, or IR off the infinitive. Stem-changing verbs have a spelling change in certain forms. Check out how the O in poder changes to UE, and pedir gets its E changed to an I.
Just to be clear, let's do a run-through of these two verbs.
Poder, to be able.
Remember, the stem-changing rule for this verb is pretty straightforward. The O in the stem changes to UE in all forms except nosotros, nosotras, and vosotros, vosotras.
You should be an old pro at poder, to be able. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podéis, pueden. And remember, it's a boot verb. To say what you are able to do, you use the infinitive after poder.
Puedo cantar. Podemos bailar.
Now it's time to ask for what you want. Oh, gracias.
Pedir. To ask for. Pido. Pides. Pide. Pedimos. Pedís. Piden.
Ana pide mucha comida. Pides la cuenta.
Now it's your turn. Fill in the blank with the correct form of poder or pedir.
Poder, tú, ir más tarde. Tú puedes ir más tarde. Poder, nosotras, cocinar el pollo. Nosotras podemos cocinar el pollo. Pedir, ella, un plato de paella. Ella pide un plato de paella. Pedir, yo, su número de teléfono. Yo pido su número de teléfono.
Okay, chicos, we're going to take a look at a little tutorial giving us a little bit more information on the conjugation of stem-changing verbs. Let's take a look and see if maybe it can help clarify before we do an activity.
In a regular verb in the present tense, we remove the infinitive ending and add a new ending that indicates person, number, and present tense. Stem-changing verbs use the same endings as regular verbs, but they also make a small change to the stem in some forms. The nosotros and vosotros forms use the regular stem, while the other forms use a slightly different stem. Stem-changing verbs are sometimes called shoe verbs or boot verbs because of the shape of the forms affected by the change. Picturing the boot shape can help you remember which forms use each stem. There are stem-changing verbs in all three conjugations, AR, ER, and IR. Since they do not follow the regular pattern, stem-changing verbs should be memorized separately. Some common examples include cerrar, poder, and servir.
Let's take a look and see if we can choose the true statement regarding stem-changing verbs. A, stem-changing verbs always have different endings than regular verbs. B, stem-changing verbs use the same stem in all forms. C, stem-changing verbs are sometimes called boot verbs. Which one do you think it is? Or sorry, D, none of the above. A, B, C, or D? Shall we try C? Let's see what that lets us. Woohoo! Correct. Stem-changing verbs are sometimes also called boot verbs because of what I showed you before. The shape of the forms, or all the forms that are affected by the change, are in the form of a boot. Okay, chicos, now let's see what you have learned and see what you understand and what you know from this lesson. We have 9 questions coming up, and what I'd like you to do is grab your notebook or your binder, go to the Chapter 1A section, and we're going to label this homework. Okay. Now notice with number 1, we have at least 5 blanks to fill in. Let's take a look. We have dormir has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Poder, 1, 2, 3, y 4. So in total, tenemos 8. Okay, so if you want to set it up just like they have here, let's do it. We have dormir and we have poder. I'm going to turn my video off and I'm going to move forward to the next question. You can always come back to fill this in. Okay, you can always pause the video as well. Remember that. Next question. Okay, las mini conversaciones. You need to write the correct forms of either dormir or poder in the blanks to complete the mini conversations below. Remember, you can pause. I'm going to move forward, but you can pause it to answer it. Again, write the correct forms of either dormir or poder in the blanks to complete the mini conversation below. Número 4. Again, choosing between dormir and poder. Pay attention to which form they're looking for, especially when it's a question. Notice how they're starting the question with the upside down question mark. Okay, continuemos. Número 5. Still deciding. between dormir o poder. Okay, remember you can pause it. I'm going to keep moving forward. Still dealing with dormir and poder. Decide which verb makes the most sense. If you don't know what the verbs mean, you should have looked them up by now. Número 7. Again, choosing between dormir and poder. Seeing a pattern here. Okay, 8. Número 8. Still with dormir and poder. We've got one more after this, but this one, number 8, notice we have 2 blanks. Okay, so let's make sure we fill them both in. And we're writing this down in our homework section in the notebook. And the last one. Still have to decide between the same verbs we've been dealing with. Okay. Muy bien, chicos. I hope you understand a little bit better about these boot verbs or stem changers. What we're going to do in class tomorrow is discuss what happens, okay, how do we form these stem changers, and what's normal about a stem changer when we compare it to a normal verb. Adios.